What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Good morning. It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York. I am also a certified trichologist. Super excited to be here, creator and founder of Trichology 911 University, case studies, and all that. So today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, and we are live, right? So listen, first of all, I know you see this big old crazy save the date over my head, right? So I want you to save the date, November 14th, in-person session here in New York, preventive care, trichology masterclass and strategy session. Where they do that at? New York. Where they do that at? New York. So I know I'm springing it on y'all, but if you live around the corner, hey, Sidaria, if you live around the corner, down the street, up the road, and you want to meet me here in New York on November 14th, you can, because, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be really digging into this preventive care trichology. And also, you get a strategy session. Now, here's the thing. If you want a private one-on-one strategy session, that's available too. But I'm going to do a group strategy. So I'll be able to drop some nuggets on how you can implement the things that are plaguing you in your hair business, your healthy hair care business, your trichology practice, if you're a hair loss practitioner. So save the date, November 14th, in person here in Long Island. I would love to see you. I would love to have you. Space is limited because I feel like, I need to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take a few pictures, eat a few sandwiches, and really get into the preventive care space as far as trichology is concerned. And then also, if you have some specific questions that could help the whole class, the whole group, or masterclass, then I'm going to be giving out some strategies to help you. That is one of my superpowers, right? To be able to look at what you have going on and to give you a full strategy. So save the date, November 14th, 2022. I know that's in like 2.5 days, but if you live up the street, down the road, around the corner, and you feel like you want to come, hey, Global Gospel, then I want you to be here. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's so funny. I was talking to somebody this morning and she was saying, what you got new? Like, what's coming up? What's going on? And one of her text messages said, she said, I am all zoomed out. I am zoomed out. And I feel the same way. I think that, as a matter of fact, I've never, since I've been this Maisha, right? Since I've been Trichology 911 University, I have never hosted an in-person class. Never. I started this space, the business behind the business of trichology, in the top of 2020. And so I never did get a chance to host an in-person class. And as a matter of fact, I think I was afraid for a minute, not because of COVID, but just kind of like, you become comfortable, you're sitting behind the camera, you got your slides and all that other stuff. But I know that that I am, if you feel the electricity and you feel hyped and you feel all that stuff online, on Zooms and on lives, then you are definitely going to get not only your money's worth, but you're going to get that experience and you're really going to be able to connect the dots. So once again, save the date, November 14th, in person. It is the Preventive Care Trichology Masterclass and Strategy Session, and it is going to be off the chain. I cannot wait to see you. And so if you're interested, just go ahead and let me know, if you want to do it. The link will be up today for you to go ahead and jump in and participate. And I am excited to see you here in Long Island, right? So listen, let's get down to business. I am live on Instagram. This is my family. Instagram is my family. Y'all be showing up, right? Instagram, Trichology 911. I'm also live on Facebook. I'm live on Facebook on my private, not private page, I guess my regular page, Maisha Edmond, and I am also live on YouTube. This is something that I've been doing for a few months, and so I am live on YouTube. So if you have any questions, comments, and all that other stuff, if I can see them, then I'm going to answer you. If not, I'll get back to them later. So anyway, one mistake I made as a new trichologist, and listen, I've made many. So when I say one, I got a million to pick from. So okay. So one mistake that I made as a new trichologist, and so I want you to begin to, when you see me, if you could type in the chat, share. I don't know if you can share. Grab some paper and a pen because geniuses take notes, and this could be something that is going to help you out. So there are going to be 5 different things that I'm going to cover, but one mistake I made as a new trichologist, and that is this: like, I'm not going to make you wait. Why am I going to make you wait? Not deciding in the beginning how to turn a client over for a new plan, or if it was appropriate for the issue to do one and done. I said a lot. Let me do it again because I got notes. Y'all know I got notes. Y'all know I got these notes. Let me do this. So basically, I didn't decide in the beginning if I was going to turn this client over, that it was going to be like a maintenance, like, am I going to bring them into another treatment plan? Was there going to be another phase, another cycle, or was it like a one and done thing? Right now, why was that a big mistake? Because it cost me thousands of dollars. It cost me thousands of dollars because I was so afraid as a new trichologist to say, I know you paid this amount, but you need to go through it again. Right? Or this is how much it costs, and this is not in addition to, like, I'm not throwing in hairstyles, I'm not throwing in color, I'm not throwing in fixing your wig, I'm not throwing in, a ponytail. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you really have to be comfortable with like your pricing structure and what you will or will not do. And that's why I always ask, remember, and you can say it, what kind of trichologist do you want to be, right? Because that was what cost me a lot of money. I was so afraid to tell people, okay, this is what you got, but I need to see you again, or whatever the case, or this is what I recommend as a maintenance plan. I didn't do that. And so I messed up. I messed up big time, right? So the one thing that you have to look at when you're deciding, okay, is it going to be, okay, so this is how you get to it. You do the consultation. In the consultation, you're looking at the client and you're like, all right, they already filled out the forms before they got there, hopefully. So you had a chance to look at the medications, you look at the interactions, you look at what supplements they're on, you look at what their goals are. And so now you're looking at, okay, what's their lifestyle? You have all this stuff, right? Their blood type, blah, 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 blah. Now, in your mind, before they even get to you to be looked at under the scope, to get on the Zyto scan, to do any type of analysis that you have, right? You're deciding, is this something that I can handle one and done? Or is this something that's going to need at least 2 to 3 sessions, meaning treatment plans? So they went through a 12-week treatment plan, and now they're going to need another one to really get the results that they're looking for, right? So all of that. So this is how you get to this. So you decided already. So now they're sitting in your office. You've done the in-person consultation. You have the photos that you need. You look at them under the scope. You're looking at the analysis from the Zyto scan or whatever you're using. And now you're talking. Now you're deciding, all right, so you have traction alopecia, yes, but you also have an early onset of CCCA, and you are also on diabetes medication. So you probably are going to look at, can I accomplish getting some type of result in one sitting. Cannot do this in one sitting. So that's when you look at something that I created called the severity over duration formula, right? Severity over duration formula, which basically is how long it will take for you to get to your results based on how severe the issue is. Severity over duration, right? Severity over duration. How long will it take you to get to the results based on how severe the issue is? Remember this, trichology is protocol, or trichology protocol is comprised of what treatment and procedure will do, why it will be done, that's the desired result, and how it will be done. So that's oftentimes it contains the plan. So basically, when you're looking at trichology protocol, right? And I'm going to say this again because I'm going to read it again, right? Is basically comprised of the treatment and procedure, right? So what are you going to do? Why is it going to be done? Why do you need to do whatever you're doing to this client, right? Because they have a desired result. So what is the desired result? Do they want to grow their hair back? Do they want to stop their scalp from looking how it's looking? Do they want to change how the scalp is feeling? Whatever it is, that's a desired result. How it will be done, which often contains the plan. How is it going to be done? How are you going to do this, right? So you want to make sure that you know how you're going to do it. Why is it going to be done? Why is it going to be done? So you're going to ask yourself the questions, what the treatment and procedure will be comprised of, why it's going to be done, and how it's going to be done. So that's the severity versus the duration, or over the duration. Next thing you're looking at, and I'm talking about one mistake I made as a new trichologist, for those of you that just jumped in, basically what happened was I was not deciding in the beginning if the client was going to be somebody that I turned over as for a new plan after I did the initial plan, or if it was like a one and done. So I left thousands of dollars on the table because I didn't know how to properly convey if there would be a maintenance plan, if there was something that I saw in the lab work, or if that I saw coming down the pipeline based on the medications, the interaction of the medications, nutrition and different things like that, that could have been preventive for them, that I could have said, okay, you know what, have a seat, hang out with me for a little bit longer, because I know that we handled this, but because of this is what you're going to begin to see. And so I didn't do that. And so I treated everybody one and done. I was too afraid to say, okay, now this is how much it's going to be, or whatever the case. And so I messed up, and I didn't get the results that I should have gotten, because I could have worked with the client longer. And I also didn't keep a client, because I feel like the changes that are made when you are a trichologist, and those changes that you make in the client's lives are lifestyle changes. And so you want to be a resource to those clients, so that when they can reach back and say, you know what, I can't, this messes up my scalp, this throws me off, this messes up my hair, or whatever the case, and just kind of be a staple in their lives, right? And so basically, that's what I was not doing. So number three, one thing I needed to do was I decided what treatments work best, and that's what always helped me, deciding what treatments work best, right? So basically, when I think about treatment options, I look at them as tiered, right? TIERED. I look at treatment options as tiered. So I'm going to give you an example of what I mean when I say tiered treatment options. Hopefully y'all can see me when I say tiered treatment options. So you look at, for example, scalp massage only, right? So if it's scalp massage only, right? Okay. So the next tier might be a scalp massage and photodynamic therapy, right? Which means the scalp massage and some kind of a lighting therapy. But then the third and final in those tiers, a tier 3 may be like the electroporation wand, which will also add the lighting, but also has the mechanism that's going to push the nutrients of whatever you're putting on the scalp into the dermal layer, right? Now, why is this important? Because all three promote circulation. Scalp massage is going to promote circulation. Massage plus the photodynamic therapy, because photodynamic based on the lighting. I'm getting excited. So if you use a red light, you understand that that is going to dilate the capillaries and also promote circulation in the scalp. But then the electroporation wand is going to do the same thing, and it's going to be for less time, right? So this is my thing. All three are going to promote circulation, but as you go to the next tier, you're going to find that you're getting greater results for less time and more money. Y'all ain't saying amen. So when I'm working with tiered options, that's why you can't just throw things at the wall when you are a trichologist. Don't just say, oh, I learned this and I learned this, and let me just do everything and hope that their hair grows. Because let me help you. And I say this a lot. Your responsibility is not to grow hair. That's not what you're doing. And see, if you take that pressure off of you, yes, you're going to end up growing hair or getting some type of results. But if you make that your sole purpose, you're always going to be frustrated. You're going to be confused, and nobody ain't going to come to you because you're like, I can grow your hair back. I grow your hair back. And then it's almost relative, because when you say you could grow my hair back and it don't got all this, and I got 5 extra strands, then I'm pissed off and you're a liar. You know what I'm saying? So it gets kind of crazy. So when you look at the tiered options when it comes to treatment plans or treatments, you're looking at the higher you go in the tier, right? The greater result in less time for more money, right? Absolutely, Color Queen. It is not our responsibility. It is a collaborative effort. If your client is doing what you suggest, right? And then you are in the clinic, or you're in the clinic or your salon, and you are complimenting what they do based on what you already told them to do, you're going to see a result. But if you're doing everything you have to and they're not doing anything, and then the hair doesn't grow, now you out here trying to jump off a low step. You just upset, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be a trichologist, and I think that nobody tells you this. As a trichologist, your job is not to grow hair back. That's not your responsibility. It's deeper than that. But when you look at it from a marketing standpoint, and people saying, come to my school, come to my class, they're gonna say, you want to be able to grow people hair back? You come to this class. And then you don't, then you out here looking crazy like I did, quitting 7 times like I did, because I couldn't convey what I needed to. I didn't get the results that I thought I should get, because I didn't take into consideration that they're not doing what they need to do as well. Right? Does that make sense? So anyway, basically, when I offer tiered, and so this is how you do it. You look at what you have to offer. There are many things in your practice that do the same thing. They have the same agenda. They're going to give the same results, but some stuff is going to work faster than others, which means that when I say all three promote circulation, right? But as you go to the next tier, you find that you are getting greater results in less time for more money. Let me give you a pricing example. You might charge $60 for a scalp massage, right? But then you might charge $110 for that scalp massage and photodynamic therapy, right? And then, but I would charge $260 for one session of electroporation for electroporation. Now let's look at the timing. You might spend 30 minutes on a scalp massage, right? But then you might spend 15 minutes on massage and photodynamic therapy, because you're going to have that photodynamic therapy that's going to really open up those capillaries, and so you don't have to spend as much time on the massage. But for me, 15 minutes with electroporation wand at $260. So that means that giving myself a little break, if I wanted to, within that, I can do 4 electroporation wand sessions in an hour. Whereas you could only do 2 massages in an hour, or you could only do 2 massage and photodynamic therapy sessions in an hour. So that's that. The next thing is having the time frames established, right? I'm still talking about a mistake I made as a new trichologist, not deciding in the beginning if this client is going to be a turnover client or are they going to be somebody that's one and done, because I missed so many steps, right? So the first step I missed was severity versus duration, or over duration, deciding what treatments work best, so that I could get through it, right? And that talks about those tiers. Is it going to be scalp massage, which does the same thing as massage and photodynamic therapy, which does the same thing as using the electroporation wand. But the higher I go in the tiers, I spend less time with the client, but I make more money. So that frees up their time. You're not jipping them. Good morning, Marquita. You're not jipping them. You are saving their time. You're more effective with their time, because they only have to lay down on this massage table with this beautiful music, 24 karat gold under eye patches. They're laying down, they don't drink their water, and they get to relax. And for 15 minutes, you're doing this thing that is really getting them optimum results, and they're out. They don't have, so they could come on their lunch break. You know what I'm saying? It'd be the best 260 they ever spent. Feel me? Okay, so the next thing is having those time frames established. So what does that look like? When you think about having a time frame established, I'm really talking about the sweet spot, right? For where each treatment works best, and is going to help you to structure the length of your treatment plans, as well as when to switch to a different type of treatment if necessary. So if you know the sweet spot of each treatment that you offer, then you know where it's going to really start kicking in and start working, and where it's going to really start to wane or plateau. And that's when you know, all right, if I do this for 3 weeks, at almost the end of 3 weeks, I'm going to switch her over to this. That's almost like supplementation. So if you have this type of supplement from this, absolutely. If you have this type of supplement and the client is using it for the first month, then you already know to switch to the other brand of supplement, because the body begins to get used to the first of the supplement, the first type of supplement, and you don't want that. You always want to kind of like shock that system into reaction, right? Okay. All right. So you want to have time frames of established. What's the sweet spot? Do you know your treatment's sweet spots? There are things that you offer, or you just doing it the whole time, or you doing it and then you're not staying with it long enough. What are you gonna do? You have to. So now you have to start to pay attention. Absolutely. So now you have to start to pay attention to. All right. So Miss Johnson start to react. Okay, so now I'm seeing everybody is kind of getting, so it's like this, knowing that if you only did photodynamic therapy, it would take 6 months to get a result. That's a known, that's a known fact. It's going to take 6 months to get a result for photodynamic therapy, right? So that's why many trichologists that I know are not going to use photodynamic therapy alone. Is always going to be multi-therapeutic. It's always going to be different therapies that I'm offering at one time. And then look at the tiering system that I just spoke about. So then if you look at the tiering system, you might use all level 1 tier, but multi-therapeutic. You would basically use the same mechanism, but increase the tier for the next phase of the treatment plan. So maybe I'm doing massage therapy. Maybe I'm doing a scalp massage with my hands, and I'm doing a dermal roller, right? A dermal roller is more mechanical, right? So I'm doing a hands-on scalp massage, and I'm doing a dermal roller. But on the next tier, because I want to kick it up, but I still want to keep those mechanisms because I know they work, then I might go to the scalp massage and photodynamic therapy or the electroporation wand and use CIT. So my tear up from the dermal roller is going to be my CIT, that the CIT wand or the pen, as opposed to me still using the roller. You feel what I'm saying? So I know that that's going to get me more results. I understand the time frame, and I understand that I've established a sweet spot. And because I've established a sweet spot for where each treatment works best, this is going to help me to structure the length of my treatment plan, or know how much I can fit in a treatment plan if I have a structured treatment plan. So if my structured treatment plan is 12 weeks, then I know that I can add another treatment in there that is going to help the client to get to desired results. Thanks, Marquita. And so that brings me to the last thing. And so once you've done it for a while and you develop the standard for how to conduct treatment plans, as well as where you need to shorten or lengthen duration based on the results each component will offer, then you're good. So I'm going to say that again. Once you've done it for a while, you develop a standard for how to conduct treatment plans, as well as where you need to shorten or lengthen based on results each component you offer will provide. Okay? Okay? So I'm going to just go over it one more time. So one mistake, because I've made a million. One mistake I made as a new trichologist, right, is that I didn't decide in the beginning how to turn the client over for or if I was going to turn them over for a new treatment plan, or if it was going to be a one and done client. Feel me? I did not consider severity over duration, which is a formula that I created. Basically saying how long it will take for you to get the result based on how severe the issue is. Right? Remembering that trichology protocol is comprised of what the treatment and procedure will do, why it will be done, and how it will be done. And if you don't establish those things, you're going to come into the clinic. You're going to say, I took this class, I took that class, I got this, I bought that, and you're going to throw it all at the client. If they get results, you're not going to know why. If they don't get results, you're not going to know why. If they plateau or nothing happens, you're going to be upset. You'll be like me, you done quit 7 times, and people can't even say tricycle around you, let alone trichology, because you just upset, right? So also we're looking at the fact that we are deciding what treatments work best, right? That's also demographics, because there's some things that work really good in certain, weather. Feel me? Like the atmosphere here ain't good for that. Y'all could do that down there. You could sit stuff on your scalp and all that other stuff. I can't do that here. So therefore, you have to have a tiering system, and you decide, all right, so if I do this, I have another level up that does the same thing, but faster. And then I have another one that does the same thing faster and in less time, which basically the higher you go in the tier, the less time you got to spend, but the more money you make. Come on. You feel me? Remember the old radios when you had to do the equalizer joint, right? So basically, when you look at the tiering, look at what you have. Stop throwing stuff at these clients. Stop giving them all your stuff all at once. You like, hey, you think that was bad? Let me show you something else, right? So now you done gave them everything. You don't have nothing. They done plateaued. You upset. They not getting no results, and then that's how you just force them to be one and done. And you just say, well, it didn't quite work. So now you sad, you don't quit. Nobody can say tricycle. They can't say try it again. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't gonna work. Okay. So Marquita said, will you be going more into detail on this in the masterclass? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me just say that again. Thanks, Marquita. November 14th. It's gonna be in person. It's going to be in person. Save the date. I have not done an in-person trichology class as me now, as Maisha, Trichology 911 University, right? I have not. And so I'm going to be doing a preventive care trichology masterclass and strategy session which means that I'm going to be giving strategies, right? If you want to also book in like a one-on-one, you can do that too. And we could, we can get your little stuff together, right? Right. We're gonna get the business together. So if you have something that you need a strategy for, um, then I'm going to be able to do that. And we could carve out some time for that. But as it stands, November 14th, 2022, in person here in Long Island. And I really can't wait to see y'all because I know y'all, but I cyber know y'all. But I never touch nobody's skin. How y'all doing? Right. So yeah. So let me just go back over that. So one mistake I made as a new trichologist, I didn't make that decision. I didn't decide in the beginning how to turn that client over for a new plan or if they were going to be one and done. I left thousands of dollars on the table. I left thousands of dollars on this. Listen to me. I left thousands of dollars on the table because I didn't even have a plan to say, okay, well, if I was done, what would the maintenance plan be? What would that look like? What would I charge for that? I didn't do that. And so I didn't understand severity over duration. I didn't understand what treatments work best because that would have helped me. I didn't understand maybe tiering because it wasn't a thing. I had to create it myself. I had to create it myself and understand that if I know how things work and I know why things work, then I can also understand that this actually equals this, right? So you could be fancy and this is why I never mess up when tools break, because I know how to do it with my hands. And that's one thing that you're going to have to really get with. If you know how to do it with your hands, if you get the tool that makes it faster and easier, you understand the mechanism. It's not a crutch. And if it ever breaks, you can still do it. Right, Ebony? Right? So that's the thing. Can I do a scalp massage? Do I understand scalp massage? Yes. Do I understand what is the reason for it? Absolutely. Right? So then that's circulation, right? And I'm loosening up that scalp and I'm doing all those things, right? So now that I've done that, then I can go to using photodynamic therapy in conjunction with. And then I can go from that and say, you know what, listen, I got 15 minutes. Let me break out this wand. And you know what I'm saying? Let me put in these growth factors and let me do this and that. And then I'm able to help. Less time for you, less time for me, a more effective, more deep treatment for you. And while it costs more money, it saves you time because you could come in on your lunch break and it'd be the best $260 you ever spent. And for you as the technician, for you as the trichologist, the professional, it'll be the best 15 minutes that you ever spent with a client. They're relaxing because when you look at something like electroporation, look, most of your clients are stressed. Stress is like one of the biggest reasons for hair loss, right? Stress, right? They coming from work and all that other stuff. They in their car, they fight in traffic and all that other stuff. Imagine being able to come into your trichologist, lay down. It smells good. You got your aromatherapy. Is some light, instrumental music playing, and is the lights are dim and I'm getting this thing done to my scalp. And 15 minutes feels like an hour. I'm refreshed, I'm renewed, I'm revived. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what it is, if you do it in the daytime, you want to use aromatherapy that is more like citrus, more invigorating. Lemons, lemongrass, citrus, something like that, right? Because it's going to get them up and they ready to go back to work and do what they need to do. Exactly a full experience. But then if it's in the evening, you might want to do some lavender, some different things like that, right? So you good. But there's a lot of things that I missed and that I left on the table as a new trichologist, and so I want to help you. Okay, so like I said, I didn't decide what it was. I didn't understand tiering. I didn't understand having time frames and discovering the sweet spot for each of the treatments that I offered. What is the sweet spot? Why does it work? Why does it not work? How are you going to keep it working? Do you know what to do after this? And that's where the tiering comes in as well, because if it stops working, where are you going to go next? And then finally, once you're done, and once you've done it for a while, you develop a standard for how you conduct treatment plans. Because I remember when I used to think, when I started treatment plans, that you come to me, you sit, I talk to you for almost 2 hours, right? I make you sign and do the forms right there. I didn't do them in advance. I'm talking about saving you time, being effective, and being able to get the pressure off of you, right? So they would come in, and I wouldn't ask them no questions before. They come in, I give them the form, they filling out all these forms. Now I'm trying to read them. Now I'm trying to look at the medications. Now I'm trying to see where they interact and what's the side effects of this. And I'm doing all this stuff. Now I take all these pictures, and I got my camera, and I got the daggone scope, and I'm doing all of this. And then after I do all of that, then I tell them, all right, let me see what your blood type is. And I do the blood type test, and I got all of that. Then I got to tell them, okay, I'm going to send you an email. Then I do all this email, and I got the email and they say, this is your blood type. And so therefore, this is your thing, that this is what you got to eat, and this is what you can't eat. And I do all of that. And I say, based on what I have seen, I have discovered, and in conjunction, this how much it will cost. Break it down like this. Da 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 da. First of all, they're not reading them emails, so stop your lies. Stop playing. It's all this stuff. You trying to sound smart. So now you got all these trichology, all this trichology terminology. You doing all this stuff. You just going nuts, right? You doing all of this. You done pasted the pictures in there in the email. They got pictures of their scalp. They got this. You got the arrows and the circles and all that other stuff. And guess what? They not even paying you no attention. They're not even paying you no attention. You don't even have any strategy. You don't even have any strategy. They're not paying you no mind. You done constructed this email, and some of y'all know, y'all done sent me the whole treatment plan in the email in my inbox on Facebook. And I gotta read through this thing. And before I even read it, but I read it because I want to help you. I read the daggone thing, and you're saying, and furthermore, and thereunto, and nevertheless, and you got all these words, and you putting all this stuff together, and I'm saying, and I say, why you write all this? Why you ain't tell these people this from the beginning? And this is when I find out that you didn't ask them any questions before they got there. There was no period of discovery. There was nothing. So I got to tell you, it was too much. You mad at me? You don't want to take my class. I'm just trying to help you. Now you back to doing crimps and ponytails when you didn't want to, because there ain't nothing wrong with a crimp and a ponytail, boo. But what I'm saying is you didn't want to. You wanted to transition into trichology, but now you're frustrated because you feel like don't nobody want no hair. People don't want hair. They don't want to listen. They ain't doing what they supposed to do. And you mad because you did all of this. Why? Because you didn't decide in the beginning. You didn't make decisions in the beginning. Listen to this. To make a decision, to decide, right? Side, like kill, CIDE, right? Like homicide, fratricide, right? To decide is to kill every other option. When you operate in trichology, as a solutionist who makes decisions, because solutionists make decisions. When you operate that way, you kill every other decision. And when you operate that way, you kill the decisions that your clients or potential clients have to make, because you are so put together. Your stuff is so right that there is no other option. I've had clients come in and say, well, listen, I just want to work with you. And I'm like, great. Your deposit is $500. No, I'll pay the whole thing. All right. And we'll get started, and let's choose your dates. But when we don't make the decisions, you leave money on the table. You're absolutely frustrated. You don't have any clients. And now you're looking around this clinic and you got every tool that they ever made. You have all the products. You got all these contacts. You in every group. You in every session. And you don't even know what to do with it because you won't make a decision. Trichology is easy. Trichology is easy, and I need you to stand in that. I need you to walk in that. Trichology is easy. It does not have to be what we are making it, but it's only going to become easy when you understand what you're talking about. You don't have to speak above your own head. And I always talk about this. I've created a tier system, a level system in Trichology, 1 through 5. Know where you are. Know where you are, because if you know where you are in the level system, you understand even your clients. You understand what they need. You understand the kind of clients that you should be attracting, and you know how to formulate your marketing, your message, your brand, and where you're going in Trichology. I think I preached enough. November 14th, 2022, meet me in Long Island. I'm super excited to meet you guys. Space is limited. I'm going to say 15 people, 15. It's going to be real cute. It's going to be, we going to get down to it. I appreciate a pen and a paper, but bring you a laptop or bring you an iPad and an Apple Pen, because I want you to be able to get this stuff done. It's going to be preventive care, Trichology masterclass, as well as strategy session. If you feel like that's all good, and you know, because we go do group strategy, you are going to be able to, if you want to, get a one-on-one strategy session with me because you have specific stuff and you want people all in your business. That's available too. The link will be available before the day is out. Okay, so as soon as it is up, you will be able to purchase it, and I will I'll have it together for you. So I'm going to get that link together for you with the different options and all of that. So this is basically a save the date. Save the date, save the date. So if you didn't have none, you like, I don't know if I want to be there because I don't know what I'm doing that day. Well, if you're not doing nothing that day, that's what you're doing that day. You coming to see me. Because this is going to be my first ever in-person Trichology class. Like I've done one when I first started, but not as Trichology 911, not as this Maisha, not as business behind the business of Trichology. And I'm super excited. So I hope that I've helped you. One mistake I made as a new trichologist. Hope that was helpful for you. Helps you to think and all that other stuff. All right. So that's it. Okay. Remember, trichology is easy. You can do it. Just start to think differently. I like to think that I'm influencing critical thinkers in trichology. And if you are a critical thinker, if you're somebody that's like, listen, it's got to be more than this, I'm your girl, because I believe it too. And all we got to do is sit down a little bit, right? Sit down a little bit and think, and we'll be able to get the answers that we need. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day today. Happy hair growing.